The waiter placed 2 champagne flutes on our table, the bubbles dancing mockingly as my husband of 15 years prepared to destroy my life over appetizers. I'm Naomi, and this was supposed to be our anniversary dinner. 15 years of marriage celebrated at Oriel, the same restaurant where Yosef proposed. Back then, I thought his choice of this place was romantic. Now I recognize it for what it is, calculated theatre. You look tense, Yosef said, adjusting his Rolex. Try to relax. It's a special night. I forced a smile, watching him scan the room like he always did, cataloguing who might be watching. Special how? He took a deliberate sip of champagne. I've been thinking about our future, about changes we need to make. The waiter appeared with our seafood tower. I stared at the ice-bedded shrimp while Yosef cleared his throat. I'm leaving you, he said, casual as commenting on the weather. Quinn and I have been seeing each other for 8 months. She's 27, by the way. Works in marketing. My hand tightened around my water glass. Quinn, your new assistant? Former assistant now. She's exceptional, dynamic, the kind of woman who understands ambition. He leaned forward. Let's be honest, Naomi. You've become boring. A liability to where I'm headed. I thought of the joint account I'd checked that morning. Empty. And the money? His smile turned predatory. Already transferred. Quinn needed a car, a proper one for her new position. You understand? A car, I repeated flatly. With our savings. My savings, he corrected. Let's not pretend you contributed meaningfully. Your little consulting work was cute, but I built everything we have. The sommelier approached with wine. Yosef waved him away, clearly enjoying his moment of control. I've had papers drawn up, he continued. Clean break. You get the condo in Brooklyn. It's paid off. I'm not heartless. How generous. My voice was steady, surprising even me. And the jet? He paused, fork halfway to his mouth. What jet? The Cessna citation registered under Morgan Garrett Holdings. I dabbed my lips with the napkin. The one you bought last month. His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, face darkening. Why is Titus from First National calling me? Oh, I said softly. Is it about the jet? Yosef's expression shifted from confusion to dawning horror. What did you do? Nothing yet, but it seems your new purchase triggered some interesting flags at the bank. Titus is very thorough about unusual transactions. You vindictive bitch, he hissed, dropping all pretense of civility. You have no idea what you're doing. I stood up slowly, smoothing my dress. Actually, I do. You see, while you were buying Quinn her car, I was following the money. All of it. The shell companies, the fake charities, the offshore accounts. Did you really think I wouldn't notice? You're bluffing, he said, but his face had gone pale. The federal investigators you're about to hear from would disagree. I picked up my clutch. Happy anniversary, darling. Enjoy the seafood tower. It's already paid for, unlike your jet. His phone buzzed again. And again. I turned to leave, but he grabbed my wrist. Sit down, he growled. We need to talk about this. I jerked free. No, we really don't. But Quinn might want to talk to you about that bounce check for her new Porsche. Seems your accounts are frozen. The maitre d' appeared, concern etched on his face. Is everything all right, Mrs. Garrett? Perfect, I replied. Mr. Garrett will take care of the bill. Though he might want to use cash, his cards won't work anymore. As I walked out, I heard Yosef's phone ring again. My own buzzed with a text from my sister Meredith. It's done. All accounts flagged. You okay? I texted back. Never better. The night air hit my face as I stepped onto the street. Behind me, through the restaurant's windows, I could see Yosef arguing with someone on his phone, his face contorted with rage. 15 years of marriage, ended over appetizers. But unlike the savings he'd stolen, unlike the years he'd wasted, unlike the dignity he'd tried to strip from me, this time I was taking something from him. Everything. My phone buzzed again. A message from Titus. Federal agents en route to his office. You sure about this? I smiled, hailing a cab. Absolutely, I typed back. Time to watch it all burn. 1 month earlier, I sat in my brother Tyler's cramped apartment, staring at bank statements spread across his coffee table. Look at these withdrawals, Tyler said, circling numbers with a red pen. 200,000 here, another 150 there, all to companies I can't trace. My sister Meredith paced behind us. That slimy bastard. I knew something was off when he started talking about that new assistant. Quinn, I said, the name bitter on my tongue. She's been working for him for what, 4 months? And suddenly he needs a corporate jet. Tyler snorted. Come on, sis, you're smarter than this. I was. That's what hurt the most. The signs had been there. Yosef's late nights, his secretive phone calls, the way he'd stopped sharing financial decisions with me. I'd ignored them all, choosing trust over suspicion. I can dig deeper, Tyler offered. I still have contacts from my analyst days. Meredith stopped pacing. Is that safe? With your recovery? Tyler's face hardened. I'm 3 years clean. This isn't about chasing highs. It's about protecting my sister. My phone buzzed. A text from Titus at First National. Free for coffee? Need to discuss some irregular activity. 20 minutes later, I sat across from Titus in a quiet cafe. He'd aged well since our college days, when I'd tutored him in advanced accounting. The jet purchase raised red flags, he said, sliding a folder across the table. The holding company doesn't match our records. And the money trail? He hesitated. Naomi, if this is what it looks like, it's serious. How serious? Federal investigation serious. Money laundering, tax evasion, possibly worse. I took a slow sip of coffee. What if I told you I wanted to help that investigation along? Titus studied me carefully. Hypothetically, if someone were to file certain paperwork questioning the jet's financing, it would trigger automatic reviews. Hypothetically, I echoed, but timing would be crucial. Once the process starts, it can't be stopped, I finished. I know. Back at home, I went through Yosef's desk while he was at dinner with investors. The bottom drawer had a false bottom, amateur hour. Inside, I found property deeds in foreign names, offshore account numbers, and my hands trembled as I lifted a photograph. Quinn, smiling, holding up a positive pregnancy test. The date stamp was from 2 weeks ago. My phone rang. Meredith. The PI got back to me, she said, without preamble. You need to see this. An hour later, we watched grainy footage of Yosef and Quinn entering a sprawling country estate. Property records show it was purchased 6 months ago, the PI explained, through a shell corporation called Morgan Charitable Foundation. Morgan? I felt sick. He used my name. Classic misdirection, Tyler said. Hide it in plain sight, using your identity as cover. Meredith gripped my hand. We've got the bastard. Question is, what do you want to do about it? I thought about the pregnancy test photo, about the empty accounts, about 15 years of believing I wasn't good enough. I want everything, I said quietly. Every account, every property, every lie he's hidden behind my name. And then I want him to lose it all. Tyler pulled out his laptop. Already started the trace on that foundation. It gets worse. The luxury car he bought recently? Laundered through your charity's books. My charity? I laughed bitterly. I don't have a charity. According to these documents, you do, and you've been very generous with foundation funds. My phone buzzed again. Titus. Papers ready when you are. Once filed, no going back. I looked at my siblings. Meredith, fierce and protective. Tyler, skilled and determined, both ready to help me tear down the house of cards Yosef had built. There's one more person I need to see, I said, standing up. Someone who might understand exactly what I'm dealing with. Mum! Meredith's eyes widened. You sure about that? I wasn't. Iris and I hadn't spoken in years, but she'd survived her own divorce from a manipulative man. Maybe it was time to learn from her experience. Set up the paperwork, I told Tyler. I'll be back tomorrow. As I left, my phone lit up with a text from an unknown number. It was a photo of Quinn, getting into a new Porsche, paid for with my money. I saved the picture. Evidence, ammunition, the beginning of the end. Game on, I whispered, stepping into the night. Behind me, Tyler and Meredith were already at work, unravelling the threads of Yosef's carefully constructed lies. Soon, he'd learn exactly who he'd underestimated, and what it would cost him. Sweetheart, you're being paranoid. Yosef lounged in his home office, barely glancing up from his phone. Foreign holdings? Shell companies? You've been watching too many crime shows. I perched on the edge of his desk, sliding the offshore account statement toward him. Then explain this. He barely looked at it. Business is complicated. You wouldn't understand. Try me. Fine. He set his phone down, irritation flickering across his face. The Cayman account is for tax efficiency. Perfectly legal. Why are you suddenly playing amateur detective? Because my name is on documents I never signed. That got his attention. His chair creaked as he leaned forward. You're being clingy, Naomi. This isn't attractive. My phone buzzed. Meredith sending updates from the PI. I ignored it. Neither is fraud, I said softly. Yosef's laugh was sharp. Careful, honey. You're starting to sound unstable. Remember what happened to your brother? Paranoid accusations, conspiracy theories? Right before his breakdown? The threat was clear. Question him, and he'd paint me as crazy as Tyler had been during his addiction. You're right, I said, standing up. I'm sure it's nothing. His smile didn't reach his eyes. Why don't you take a spa day? Clear your head. Instead, I met Meredith and the PI at a diner across town. The PI, a weathered woman named Rita, spread photos across the table. They're at the countryside property 3 times a week, Rita said, pointing to surveillance shots. Usually afternoons, but here's where it gets interesting. She pulled out another photo. Yosef and Quinn, but they weren't alone. A city inspector was with them, accepting an envelope. That's Marcus Fuller, Rita explained. Zoning commissioner. Very interested in your husband's new development project. Meredith leaned forward. The one near the high school? Rita nodded. Where they're employing underage workers off the books. My stomach turned. You're sure? Got video. Kids, 14, 15 years old, working construction after dark. Jesus, Meredith whispered. My phone rang. Iris, my mother. I'd been avoiding her call since visiting yesterday. Take it, Meredith urged. I'll get the rest from Rita. I stepped outside. Mum, I've been thinking about what you told me, Iris said. About Yosef. I should have said something sooner. What do you mean? I saw it, Naomi. The way he isolated you, controlled the money, made you doubt yourself, just like your father did to me. My throat tightened. Why didn't you say anything? You were so defensive of him. After what happened with your father, I thought speaking up would only push you away more. A sleek Porsche roared past the diner, Quinn at the wheel, looking furious. She pulled into the parking lot, slamming the car door. Mum, I have to go. Quinn stormed into the luxury car dealership next door. Through the window, I could see her gesturing wildly at a salesman. Everything okay? Meredith appeared beside me. Wait, I said, watching. The salesman shook his head. Quinn threw something, looked like a bounce check. Security approached. Trouble in paradise, Meredith smirked. My phone buzzed with a text from Tyler. Found something big. Griffin's been calling the office all morning, sounds drunk. Says Yosef ruined him. Griffin? Meredith frowned. Yosef's best friend? Former best friend, I corrected, watching Quinn storm back to her car. And maybe our next ally. Quinn peeled out of the parking lot, nearly hitting a pedestrian. My phone rang again. Griffin's number. Should I answer? I asked Meredith. She nodded. Put it on speaker. Naomi? Griffin's voice was slurred. I know what he did to you, what he's doing to all of us. I'm listening. He took everything, my investment, my reputation, used me to, he hiccuped, to launder money through my company. I can prove it. Where are you? Hotel bar, Marriott downtown. Please, I need to talk. I looked at Meredith. She nodded again. Stay there, I told Griffin. I'm coming. As we headed to my car, Rita caught up with us, waving another photo. Just came in, she said grimly. You're being followed. Black SUV, 2 days now. Meredith grabbed the photo. Yosef? Has to be, I said. He's getting nervous. He should be, Meredith replied. Ready to meet Griffin? I thought about the bounce check, Quinn's rage, Griffin's drunken call. Yosef's house of cards was starting to wobble. Ready, I said, starting the car. Time to add another match to the fire. Griffin looked worse than I expected. He sat slumped at the hotel bar, expensive suit wrinkled, 3 empty glasses in front of him. "You came," he slurred, trying to stand. Meredith steadied him. "Let's find somewhere quieter," I suggested. We guided him to a corner booth. A waitress brought water, eyeing Griffin with concern. "Show her," he mumbled to Meredith, who'd taken his phone when he nearly dropped it. She pulled up emails, screenshots, banking records. "It's worse than we thought, Naomi." "He used my company," Griffin said, voice breaking. "Set up fake subsidiaries, laundered money through construction projects. When I confronted him, he threatened to frame me for everything." My hands shook as I scrolled through the evidence. Shell companies within shell companies, all leading back to that countryside property. And the underage workers. "Those kids," Griffin continued. "I told him it was wrong. He said they were lucky to have work. Called me soft. We need to take this to the authorities," Meredith said. "No!" Griffin grabbed my arm. "He'll destroy me. Already told everyone I'm a drunk, unreliable. Who'll believe me?" "I believe you," I said quietly, "and I'm filing a whistleblower report." "You don't understand," he pleaded. "It's not just money. He's got people everywhere. Cops, judges, city officials." My phone buzzed. "Tyler. IRS contact confirmed. Ready when you are." "Griffin," I said, "what if I could guarantee your safety?" "Clear your name?" He laughed bitterly. "How?" "I have proof it was all Yosef. Your signature was forged, just like mine. Help me take him down, and you'll be a witness, not a suspect." Before he could answer, Meredith's phone lit up. "Unknown number," she said. "Speaker," I nodded. "Naomi?" Quinn's voice shaky. "Please don't hang up." Griffin's eyes widened. I pressed a finger to my lips. "I'm listening," I said. "The charity money. I didn't know. He said it was legal, that you'd approved everything. Now the feds are asking questions, and I'm pregnant, and—" "Pregnant?" Griffin mouthed. I nodded grimly. "Why are you calling, Quinn?" "Because he's going to pin it all on me," she sobbed. "The charity, the construction deals, everything. Said I was the one who set it up. And the Porsche? Bounced. All the accounts are frozen. He's talking about leaving the country, said I should take the fall because—" She choked. "Because no jury would convict a pregnant woman." I met Meredith's eyes. She nodded slowly. "Quinn, I'm going to text you an address. Come alone. We need to talk." After hanging up, Griffin grabbed my hand. "Don't trust her. She's as bad as he is." "No," I said. "She's exactly what we need. A scared accomplice ready to flip." My phone buzzed again. "Iris. Mom, can I call you back?" "No. Listen," she said urgently. "I just got a call from Yosef. He's looking for you, asking strange questions about your mental health history." My blood ran cold. "What kind of questions?" "About medication, therapy. Said he's worried you're having a breakdown, talking about conspiracy theories. Naomi, he's setting something up." "Like he did with Tyler," Meredith growled. "Mom, whatever he says about me in the next few days, don't believe it." "I won't," she promised. "Not this time. I'm not letting another man gaslight my daughter." After hanging up, I turned to Griffin. "You ready to make a statement?" He straightened his tie, suddenly looking more sober. "Tell me what you need." "Everything. Dates, amounts, names, every dirty deal, every bribe, every threat." "And Quinn?" Meredith asked. I watched the rain start outside, thinking of all the women Yosef had used and discarded. "We listen. Then we decide." My phone lit up with a final message. "Tyler. Treasury Department's Fraud Division is interested. Very interested." I showed Meredith and Griffin the text. "Last chance to back out." Griffin squared his shoulders. "He took everything from me. My company, my reputation, my sobriety. Make him pay." "Oh, he'll pay," Meredith said, pulling out her laptop. "Start talking, Griffin. Every detail." As Griffin began his story, I thought about Yosef trying to paint me as unstable, about Quinn carrying his child, about those kids working construction in the dark. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about justice, and justice was coming for Yosef, whether he was ready or not. Quinn looked smaller in person, without her designer clothes and perfect makeup. She sat across from me at the 24-hour diner, hands wrapped around a coffee cup to stop their shaking. "Start from the beginning," I said. Meredith sat beside me, recording everything on her phone. "He hired me last year," Quinn said. "Said I had potential. Started giving me special projects, handling private accounts." She laughed bitterly. "I thought I was special." "The charity foundation?" "He said it was tax optimization. Had me set up accounts, transfer funds. Then I saw the construction site." She shuddered. "Those kids. Why didn't you report it?" "Because by then I was in too deep. My signature was everywhere, and I was—" She touched her stomach. "He said we'd be a family." Meredith snorted. "Like he told Naomi?" "He's been moving money," Quinn continued. "Big amounts. Said we're leaving for Dubai next week. But yesterday—" She pulled out her phone, showing us texts. "He told me to take the fall. Said no judge would send a pregnant woman to prison." My phone buzzed. "Tyler. Griffin's statement recorded. Treasury agents want to move fast." "Show her," Meredith urged. I slid Griffin's statement across the table. Quinn's face went pale as she read. "He did the same thing to Griffin?" she whispered. "The fake subsidiaries, the forged signatures?" "And worse," I said. "The question is, what are you going to do about it?" Before she could answer, the diner's door chimed. Griffin walked in, followed by a sharp-suited woman. "This is Agent Torres," he said. "Treasury Department." Quinn started to stand. I grabbed her wrist. "Wait. Ms. Quinn Holmes?" Agent Torres sat down. "We're very interested in your story." Quinn looked at me terrified. "Full immunity," Agent Torres said. "In exchange for your complete cooperation. Mr. Green here has already provided substantial evidence." My phone lit up again. Meredith's PI. "Black SUV outside. 2 men watching." "We need to move," I said. "Yosef's people are here." Agent Torres nodded to someone outside. 2 unmarked cars pulled up. "Ms. Holmes comes with me," she said. "The rest of you, my colleagues, will escort you home." Quinn grabbed my hand. "I'm sorry, I really am. I didn't know about any of it. About you." "Save it for your statement," Meredith said coldly. As federal agents led Quinn away, Griffin slumped into her vacant seat. "You okay?" I asked. "No," he admitted. "But better than yesterday." He pulled out a silver sobriety chip. "Called my sponsor after giving my statement. 1 day at a time, right?" My phone rang. Yosef's number. "Speaker?" Meredith whispered. "Where's Quinn?" he demanded. "Hello to you too, darling." "Don't play games, Naomi. What did you do?" "Me. Nothing. Though the Treasury Department might have some questions about that charity you set up in my name." Silence. Then, "You're making a mistake." "No, you made the mistake. Several, actually. Using my identity, stealing my money, exploiting children." "You sound unhinged," he said smoothly. "I'm worried about you, honey, like your brother was before his incident." "Funny you should mention that," I said. "I just filed a restraining order against you. Those men in the black SUV outside, they should leave before the police arrive." The line went dead. "He's scared," Griffin said. "Good," Meredith replied, watching the SUV peel away through the diner's window. My phone buzzed one last time. Titus. "All accounts frozen. Federal seizure orders in place. It's starting." I showed them the message. "Tomorrow, everything hits. The media, the authorities, all of it." "What about you?" Griffin asked. "He'll come after you hard." "Let him try," Meredith said. "We've got everything documented. His threats, his stalking, his gaslighting." "Besides," I added, "I'm done being afraid of him." Griffin stood up. "I should go. Meeting with federal prosecutors in the morning." "You'll be okay?" I asked. He smiled sadly. "Better than Yosef's going to be." After he left, Meredith turned to me. "You ready for tomorrow?" I thought about Quinn's fear, Griffin's broken sobriety, those kids at the construction site, about all the lives Yosef had casually destroyed while building his empire. "You know what he told me at our anniversary dinner?" I said. "That I was boring, a liability. And now?" I showed her my final text to Titus. "Execute everything at 9 a.m. Now," I said, "he gets to learn exactly how dangerous boring can be." Outside, the city lights flickered like stars. Somewhere out there, Yosef was probably making threats, pulling strings, trying to save himself. But tomorrow was coming, and with it, the end of everything he'd built on lies. At exactly 9 a.m., I sat in Titus's office, watching multiple screens light up with notifications. Each one represented another piece of Yosef's empire crumbling. "Federal agents just entered his office building," Titus said, hanging up his phone. "Tax investigators right behind them." My phone buzzed. Tyler. "Media's got the story, breaking on all major networks." Meredith burst through the door. "Turn on Channel 4. Titus grabbed his remote. The news anchor's voice filled the room. "Breaking news. Major fraud investigation rocks local business community. Federal authorities are investigating allegations of money laundering, tax evasion, and labor law violations." "Look," Meredith pointed. Live footage showed agents leading Yosef's assistant Gianna out in handcuffs. My phone rang. "Yosef." "Ready?" Meredith asked. I nodded, putting him on speaker. "Yes?" "What have you done?" His voice shook with rage. "Exactly what you taught me," I said calmly. "Using every advantage, every weakness, every opportunity. Remember those lessons?" "They're arresting my employees." "Your accomplices," I corrected. "Quinn's been very helpful, by the way. So has Griffin." "You stupid bitch," he snarled. "You think you can destroy everything I built?" "Built?" I laughed. "You mean stole. Speaking of which, how's the jet?" A commotion erupted in the background. Someone shouting, "Federal agents!" "This isn't over," he hissed. "Actually, it is. Check your accounts." The line went dead. Seconds later, my phone lit up with a text from Quinn. "He just tried to access the Dubai funds. They're gone." "All accounts frozen," Titus confirmed, watching his screens. "Every property flagged, even his crypto wallets." Meredith hugged me. "You did it." "Not yet," I said, standing up. "Time for phase 2. Across town, Tyler waited outside the courthouse with our lawyers. I'd timed everything perfectly. The criminal investigation would trigger automatic freezes on all assets, including those hidden under my name. "Divorce papers filed," Tyler texted. "Judge expedited given the criminal charges." My phone buzzed again. A message from Iris. "Saw the news. Are you safe?" "I'm fine," I replied. "Watch Channel 7 at noon." At 11:55, I walked into the local news station. The producer met me at the door. "Ready for your statement?" she asked. "More than ready." The cameras rolled at exactly noon. I sat across from the anchor, wearing the same dress from that anniversary dinner. "Mrs. Garrett, these allegations against your husband are shocking." "Ex-husband," I corrected. "And yes, they are. That's why I'm here. Those children working illegally on his construction sites, they deserve justice. The investors he defrauded, they deserve truth. And every person he manipulated, threatened, or silenced, they deserve to be heard." My phone exploded with messages as the interview aired. Friends, colleagues, even strangers, all watching Yosef's carefully crafted image shatter. "Breaking update," the anchor said, touching her earpiece. "Federal authorities have just arrested Yosef Garrett attempting to board a private flight to Dubai." Meredith squeezed my hand off camera. After the interview, we drove to Oriole, the restaurant where everything had ended a month ago. The same waiter recognized me. "Mrs. Garrett, we saw you on TV." "Just Naomi now," I said, sitting at the same table. "I'll have the seafood tower." My phone lit up. "Griffin, they found everything. The offshore accounts, the construction site evidence, everything. You did it?" Then Quinn. "My immunity deal is confirmed. I'm testifying tomorrow." And finally Titus. "Federal prosecutors want to meet. They're calling this the biggest financial fraud case of the year." "How does it feel?" Meredith asked, watching me eat the same shrimp I'd barely touched a month ago. "Like justice," I said, with a side of karma. The waiter brought champagne, the same brand Yosef had ordered for our anniversary. "Compliments of the house," he said, smiling. I raised my glass to Meredith. "To boring liabilities." She clinked her glass against mine. "To sisters who get even." My phone buzzed one last time. A message from an unknown number. "You think this is over? Watch your back." I showed Meredith the threat. She started to look worried, but I just smiled. "Let them come," I said, deleting the message. "I'm not afraid anymore." Outside, the city hummed with the story of Yosef's downfall. But here, in the same spot where he'd tried to break me, I finally felt whole again. Sometimes revenge isn't about getting even. It's about getting free. The courthouse buzzed with energy as Yosef was led in, designer suit replaced by prison orange, his eyes locked onto mine, burning with hatred. "All rise," the bailiff called. Quinn sat in the witness box, hands clasped tightly. She'd started showing, 5 months along now. Her testimony had been devastating. "The defendant used the charity foundation to launder money," she explained. "He forged Mrs. Naomi's signature on everything, said no one would question it because she was just the trophy wife." Yosef's lawyer objected, but the damage was done. The jury had seen the evidence: forged documents, illegal transfers, surveillance photos of underage workers. During a recess, Griffin caught up with me in the hallway. "They offered me a deal," he said. "Full immunity for my testimony." "Take it," I urged. "You deserve a fresh start." "Naomi," Meredith rushed over. "You need to see this." She held up her phone. My TV interview had gone viral. Justice for Naomi was trending. Women were sharing their own stories of financial abuse, of gaslighting, of revenge. "You're an inspiration," a young intern whispered as she passed. Back in session, Yosef took the stand. His charm had turned desperate, brittle. "My wife," he began, "is unstable, paranoid, like her brother." "Objection," our lawyer called. "Relevance?" "Sustained." Yosef's mask slipped. "She orchestrated this whole thing. She's trying to destroy me because she's jealous of Quinn, because she couldn't handle me moving on." "Mr. Garrett," the judge warned. "She's crazy. Ask anyone. She—" "That's enough," the judge banged her gavel. "One more outburst and you'll be held in contempt." During his meltdown, my phone buzzed. "Tyler. Found the last account. Dubai property transferred to a holding company last week. Sending to prosecutors now." I showed Meredith the text. She squeezed my hand. The prosecutor stood. "Your Honour, we have new evidence of additional financial crimes." Yosef's face went ash white. He knew. That property was his last escape plan. "You," he snarled at me across the courtroom. "You planned this from the start." I met his gaze steadily. "No, you planned it. Every lie, every theft, every betrayal. I just exposed it." The jury took only 4 hours to reach a verdict. "On the count of money laundering, how do you find?" "Guilty." "Tax evasion?" "Guilty." "Criminal conspiracy?" "Guilty." Each charge hit like a hammer blow. Yosef slumped lower with each one. The judge's sentence was severe. 15 years. 1 for each year of our marriage. Poetic justice. As they led him away, I approached the bench. "Your Honour, may I say something to the defendant?" She nodded. I walked to where Yosef stood between 2 officers, leaned in close, whispered, "You taught me everything I needed to destroy you." His face contorted. "This isn't over." "Actually," I smiled, "it is. Enjoy prison, darling. I hear it's boring." Outside, reporters swarmed. Questions flew. "How did you uncover the fraud?" "What's next for you?" "Any comment on Quinn's pregnancy?" Meredith ran interference, while Tyler pulled the car around. But one reporter's question caught my attention. "Do you regret any of it?" I turned back. "I regret not doing it sooner." That night, we celebrated at Tyler's apartment. He was 6 months sober now, stronger than ever. "To karma," Griffin raised his sparkling cider. "To justice," Tyler added. "To family," Meredith said. My phone buzzed. "Quinn. Thank you for not destroying me too. The baby, she'll never know him. That's a good thing." I showed Meredith the message. "You could have buried her," she said. "Why didn't you?" I thought about cycles of abuse, about choices, about second chances. "Because revenge wasn't the point," I replied. "Justice was." Later, alone on Tyler's balcony, I watched the city lights. My phone lit up one last time. A message from Iris. "You did what I never could. You fought back. I'm proud of you, daughter." Below, a black SUV idled. The last of Yosef's loyal soldiers, still watching, still threatening. But I wasn't afraid anymore. Let them watch. Let them learn. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is the most dangerous. Sometimes the boring trophy wife is the one holding all the cards. And sometimes justice wears designer heels and serves revenge cold, with a side of karma. The Paris morning air felt different, lighter somehow. I sipped coffee at a sidewalk cafe, while Meredith flipped through property listings. "This one's perfect," she said, showing me a renovated office space. "Prime location for your new consulting firm." My phone buzzed. Tyler. "Just landed. Meeting with potential investors at noon. You sure about this?" "Absolutely," I texted back. "You're the best financial analyst I know." After Yosef's conviction, offers had poured in. Law firms wanted my expertise in fraud detection. Investment banks sought my consulting services, but I had different plans. "Look," Meredith pointed across the street. Quinn walked past, pushing a stroller. She'd moved to Paris to start fresh, working for a legitimate marketing firm. She noticed us and waved hesitantly. I waved back. "Still can't believe you helped her get that job," Meredith muttered. "Everyone deserves a second chance," I said. "Besides, she's been cooperating with the ongoing investigations." My phone lit up. Griffin. "Dubai properties seized. Last of his hidden assets found. It's really over?" The waiter brought more coffee. "Madame, there's a call for you at the front desk." Inside, I picked up the phone. "Hello? Naomi." Yosef's voice, hollow through the prison line. "We need to talk." "No, we don't." "Please," he said. "I've lost everything. The appeals failed. My friends abandoned me, even Quinn. That's not my problem. I understand now," he continued. "What I did to you, to everyone. I'm sorry." I laughed softly. "No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught." Silence. "Goodbye, Yosef." Back outside, Meredith raised an eyebrow. "Him?" "Last desperate attempt," I said. "He's still trying to manipulate someone. Anyone." My phone buzzed again. Iris. "Your father heard about everything. He's been trying to contact you." "Delete," I told Meredith, showing her the message. "Some bridges should stay burned." A black SUV crawled past the cafe. Old habits die hard. "Still watching," Meredith noted. "Let them," I said. "I've got nothing to hide." My phone lit up with another message. An anonymous text. "You destroyed him. Be careful who notices." I showed Meredith. She started to look worried, but I just smiled and deleted it. "Ready to look at the office space?" she asked. "Actually," I said, "there's somewhere else I want to go first." We took a taxi to a small law firm in the 7th arrondissement. Inside, a group of women waited, all victims of financial abuse, all seeking justice. "Ladies," I said, setting down my briefcase, "let's talk about fighting back." They leaned forward, hungry for hope, for guidance, for revenge. "First rule," I told them, "document everything." My phone buzzed. Tyler. "Investors loved it. They're in. When can you start?" I smiled. "Our new venture, a firm specializing in detecting financial fraud and helping victims recover their assets. Tyler handling the numbers, me teaching others what I'd learned the hard way." "Starting now," I texted back. After the meeting, Meredith and I walked along the Seine. "You could have taken those corporate offers," she said. "Made millions." "I did make millions," I replied. "By taking everything Yosef stole. And now? Now I help others do the same." My phone lit up. "Quinn. She smiled today. First time. Thought you should know." I showed Meredith the photo of Quinn's daughter. "At least something good came from all this," Meredith admitted. Back at the hotel, a package waited. Inside, a silver key and a note from Griffin. "Found my sobriety again. Opening a recovery centre. Need a board member who understands second chances." I tucked the key away. Another bridge to build. The sunset painted Paris gold as Meredith and I shared wine on the balcony. "To new beginnings," she said. "To karma," I added. My phone buzzed one final time. A message from Titus. "Another case just came in. Woman named Sarah. Similar situation. You interested?" I looked at Meredith, who nodded. "Send me the details," I replied. Below, the black SUV still idled. Watching, waiting, threatening, but they didn't understand. Their threats had no power anymore. Because I'd learned the most important lesson. The best revenge isn't destroying someone else's life. It's building something beautiful from the ashes of your own. "Ready to get to work?" I asked Meredith. She grinned. "Always." Together, we walked inside to plan our next move. Behind us, Paris glittered with possibility. And somewhere in a prison cell, Yosef finally understood what I'd known all along. Sometimes the quietest person in the room isn't just the most dangerous. They're the one who changes everything.